All right. Clean girl is out. Mob wife is in. Also out, the constant trendification and consumption that we continue to engulf ourselves in over on TikTok. That's it. That's my intro. Hi, I'm Amanda. You're watching Swell Entertainment, and I did do that intro a whopping 8 times. And wow, this is not my shade of red at all. I look more pasty than normal. So this video is a couple of different things. Predominantly, it is about the never-ending trendification of just existence, specifically for Gen Z, and hell, even millennial women, specifically on TikTok. Now, I make the distinction of saying on TikTok because I have personally become very annoyed with the lack of media literacy from the actual media, specifically when it pertains to TikTok. For example, there was a article going around about how Gen Z is afraid, terrified even, of turning 30 and that it's going to make us ugly and hideous and just goblin troll women. The thing is that the video that they were talking about was not someone who was Gen Z, it was someone who was 29, which at this current point in time does in fact make her a millennial. The fear of turning 30, the fear of getting older is something that has existed on the internet, in pop culture, in young women, in young men, for forever. There's different responsibilities as you get older. There's different changes in life as you get older, okay? That's not new, that's separate, okay? But what pissed me off is it's like, oh, one TikTok is now seen as like the entirety of a generation, which is crazy, okay? It's the same way where they're like, oh, this new trend, and it's one video. Like, drives me up the wall. But really quick, let me tell you about the sponsor for today's video, Cara. I'm sure like a lot of people, you may have a New Year's goal of making sure that your body is getting the proper nutrition it needs. I'm sure you've seen dozens of videos telling you exactly what everyone should be taking an X, Y, and Z pill, and the thing is that everyone's body, everyone's lifestyle, everyone's habits are different, and so you need a personalized experience for your supplements and vitamins, and that's where Care of comes in. What you do is you go on Care of's website and you answer all of their questions so they can figure out a little bit more about your lifestyle and your habits and your overall goals with your health. Once you're done with that, they give you their recommendations for you and what they think would be the best fit, and then not long after, you get your box with your packets already portioned out for you. That's what's probably been the biggest hindrance for me being consistent with my supplements in the past, is remembering to take them. But with these, I just set this box up right next to my coffee maker, and then while my coffee is being made in the morning, I take my pack for the day. And these packets are compostable. Whether you're curious about supplements or you've been taking supplements for years, Care of is a great place to take your next steps. All you need to do to get started is take Care of's quiz to figure out what they recommend for you. And you can use code SWELL50 to get 50% off your first order. Or you can scan the QR code with your phone. Thank you to Care of for sponsoring this video. So this video is partially, again, talking about the trendification of TikTok, but I'm also talking specifically with the mob wife aesthetic, okay? Because a couple of you DM'd me on various platforms about how, HBO used an industry plant to make the mob wife aesthetic be a trend to celebrate the 25th anniversary of The Sopranos. They didn't. It would be a great story if they did, an incredible idea, but you need to remember these companies are not that smart. I'm not even gonna be like, no offense. I mean offense. So many of these big machines do not even know how to market their movies, let alone have the foresight to hire one TikToker, okay, to try and make a trend to make it so that their 25th anniversary of their show does well, okay? Like that's just, now I bring up that specifically because I can understand why some of you may have thought that based on the videos, based on the video that I'm going to talk about and a couple of the other things. So I'm going to go through the cycle of all of this, the path that led to people thinking that this is an industry plant situation. But I'm telling you now, spoiler alert, it's not an industry plant. She said she's not, I do believe her. And I'm just gonna be honest, I just don't think the current media marketing space landscape is smart enough to pull something like this off. There's a very specific formula for industry plants. And I did have someone tell me that they thought a Nepo baby was the same thing as an industry plant, not the same thing. A Nepo baby can also be an industry plant, but it's a full different ball game than just an industry plant. Unrelated, not the point of this video. Is there a point to this video? Who knows? So earlier this month, Kayla Trivieri posted this video with the caption, "Manifesting a 24-karat diamond tennis necklace to match my mob wife energy. Clean girl is out, mob wife is in."
Clean girl is out, mob wife era is in, okay? Starbucks and black puffers are out. We're wearing vintage furs all winter. All really need to step into our mob wife era. Like, we're already seeing, you know, the cheetah prints, the sparkle, the glitz, the glam, the furs, the big hair. This is just a vibe. Carmela Soprano walked so you bitches could run. Like, she's got the big hair, the stacks. Look at that tennis necklace. I think bold glamour is making a comeback because, like, who doesn't want to be this?
Now, for those of you that are confused, okay, probably what's going to end up being, usually I have a 40% male audience, so you guys are probably going to be like more like 30, 20 for this video in particular. Totally understandable. For those of you that are misunderstanding, clean girl aesthetic was something that was around before but became locked in because of Sophia Richie Range's wedding, okay? The clean girl aesthetic. And this was synonymous with like slicked back buns, basic outfits, just basically quiet luxury, if you will. Quiet luxury is also kind of going to get thrown around with clean girl aesthetic, but it does not have to partake in both. The clean girl aesthetic is literally just like you have your life together. That's basically what it is. It's also very synonymous, I think, with basic LA transplant, white girl outfits, like plain white tees, jeans, sneakers. That was pretty much the clean girl aesthetic. Slick back buns, basic makeup, clean girl era, all this stuff. I honestly am shocked because I feel like indie sleaze was going to come back. Like the rock star girlfriend style was going to come back a lot more. And again, if you're getting an aneurysm from me talking about this, trust me, I feel a headache coming on as I'm speaking to you. The mob wife aesthetic is the opposite of the clean girl aesthetic, essentially, in that it is not basic makeup, it's bold glamour. It's not slicked back bun, it's big hair, curls, waves, whatever, okay? It's not basic outfits that you can just throw on and go and you look put together. It's, I put intention in my outfit. I have faux fur on. Always remember, vintage fur is not the same thing as new fur, and also faux fur is also worse for the environment than vintage fur, okay? The atrocity already happened with the vintage fur. It's already in the existence. Wear the vintage fur. Just like intentional outfits in your face, you know, whereas clean girl and quiet luxury was very much like subtle, no branding. It's very much logos in your face, logomania even, okay? It's Louis Vuitton, it's Dior, it's YSL, it's everything in your face. I'm gonna be honest with you, when I first thought of mob wife aesthetic, the first thing that popped into my mind was that one tweet. I think it was a BTS fan that made it, where it was like, why you should not write mafia mob AUs, the truth about the mafia. And it was like a thread, and then people were just kind of making fun of them. Like, I cook the spaghetti or whatever. Anyways, moving forward, don't come after me, please. But I think what led to the industry plants jump that you're going to see here in the next video I'm going to show you is the fact that all the women she shows are from The Sopranos, specifically Carmela Soprano, and used the line, Carmela Soprano walked so you bitches could run. So this theory came from Mia Cartwright, EXO, okay. PR prediction, mob wife aesthetic, potentially unpopular.
My theory is that the mob wife trend that's going on right now was created by an incredibly strategic team of marketers who saw how influential the clean girl aesthetic became online, and they chose to flip the script due to an upcoming drop of a TV show or a movie. And I'll be the only one who's never seen The Sopranos in their life, and now every fifth video as I'm swiping on TikTok is a clip of The Sopranos.
Totally understand where you're coming from with this. However, again, I don't think they're that smart. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've met marketing girly pops. They pull from experience. It's nearly impossible for these brands to understand a viral moment, let alone create one. Usually it's accidental. Like, oh yeah, we're just making this marketing thing and we hope it'll do well. Based on our data points, it's gonna go well. But I truly don't think they know how to do a viral moment specifically on TikTok in a way that's not just insane outrage marketing. That's really the only way you can truly predict doing a proper marketing attempt these days, is literally just going straight for outrage and then hoping it carries you far. I don't think it typically does, but that's really the only predictable outcome you can really get for like how we can blow up and make it a trend. As far as trending audios, there are plenty of people every day who try and make trending audios on TikTok. A third of them, if even that, get more than 200 views, okay? The ones that really take off, it is so random. It is so random. They can't guarantee that this one influencer that they hired to do this whole strategic marketing plan is the one that did that. They can't possibly hope for that. Now they can be like, oh yeah, we want to do a brand deal with this person and that's going to get us a good ROI because they can do X, Y, and Z. Sure, that's totally a whole thing. There's a reason influencer marketing is the way that it is. But to get a TikTok account to do a secret marketing push, okay, for the mob wife aesthetic and have that take off is so unlikely, so next to impossible to predict, and so next to impossible to achieve. The only way I would believe that this was actually a marketing push is if there was 6 different influencers who made videos very similar to Kayla's with very slight variations that went out at least the same day. That's the only way that I would believe that this was probably an intentional industry plant marketing push. Kayla herself has made a video being like, no, I like this aesthetic. And honestly, if you go through her content, it does look like she did like this style for a while versus if this was an account that was made yesterday and things like that. So I don't believe this, you know. Has this been good for her content and making this? Yes, but that's the nature of social media. You make one good video, you could get a bajillion followers. That's just the nature of social media. It does not equal industry plant. Just because you are making content and you're not getting a bajillion followers, that does not mean that this person who is successfully doing that is making an industry plant. Nor am I trying to say that that's what Mia is getting at. I'm just saying in general, because I know my comment section of like, well, the algorithm's not real. And like, I make viral videos and no one follows me. That means they're against me. No. There's a variety of reasons as to why your content could not be blowing up, but that's not the purpose of this video, okay? The purpose of this video is to talk about how you don't need to buy a whole new wardrobe every time TikTok tells you to, okay? That's the purpose. That's the goal of this video. And I hope that you guys know that, but you may think you know that, but it doesn't always translate, okay? In my audience, you guys aren't always on TikTok. A good chunk of you are, okay? The people watching this. But mostly you guys come to me, my content, because you don't want to be on TikTok. And that's understandable, okay? For a variety of reasons. It sucks my brain out of my body. But I've made it into a job. So my mindless scrolling, I get to call research. Okay, so I will put myself through TikTok for you guys. Don't worry, okay?
When I said Clean Girl is out, Mob Wife is in, I had no idea it was the 25th anniversary of The Sopranos, which is timing immaculate. HBO, Sopranos, if you want to collab, you want to work together, call me. If you or someone you know works at the Industry Plant Association, again, just let me know. I'm just a girl who lives in New York City and is perpetually online, so I feel like I kind of saw this coming from a mile away. And collectively, the girls seem to think it's a vibe.
There are bits of the mob wife aesthetic that I think have actually been around for a while, okay? Obviously, because a large swath of the population of humanity does not go off of trend cycles. A lot of people do, and a lot of people on TikTok do specifically. Why? Because life sucks and there's nothing fun about it unless you're just consuming what you like. I don't know. Or you want social capital. And so by being seen as trendy, because that's always kind of been like one of the markers of like popularity was like, oh my God, she dresses so trendy. Like all this stuff. That is one of the markers of popularity. And so you think that by being in the current trend cycle, that is the way that you yourself become a trend. And then you yourself can become an influencer or popular, and you can technically escape the rat race of capitalism and your 9 to 5 or whatever by becoming an influencer, by just feeding into the trend cycle. However, if that is your path to popularity, whether it is digitally or in real life, okay, you will always be playing the catch-up game, because inevitably, especially in our shrinking attention spans because of TikTok, I do blame TikTok. There's a reason that content creators for years have said, use trends to grow. Do not rely on trends to grow. At the end of the day, the trend's gonna go. You're not gonna be able to keep up because you're gonna be focusing on trying to use the trend that made you popular, but that trend's gone already, especially because of TikTok. Same with fashion. This is why I'm so against fast fashion, because there is no possible way that you can buy a whole wardrobe of fast fashion and then have that not be irrelevant in 6 months because the next trend is here. And then now we have fake fur going all over the place, okay, because of the mob wife aesthetic. Also, side note on that same thread, especially on Cass's note of like, oh, this was made by a strategic team of marketers. I don't think that a strategic team of marketers would come up with a trend, okay, that would lead to like you consuming a show or anything like that specifically involved you buying vintage, okay? That I don't think that's ever going to be. They want you buying the new thing so that they can make more money. The last thing they want is for you to go and hunt for your own style, even if it's for marketing for a show. And also I should note the 25th year of The Sopranos, that was mentioned in her comment section, not in her actual video, which I'm assuming you noticed by watching the video. Okay. These trend cycles are also, side note, what's keeping you poor. If that's really what your whole goal is this is what's going to make me be, you know, the coolest person ever, the best person ever, the most popular person ever, the most relevant person ever, whatever. Okay. If you're constantly just buying from Shein or Fashion Nova or any of these other companies to try and match this aesthetic, because the next time that this happens again, you've already spent all this money on these things and you're never going to get the value back, even if you spent pennies on the dollar, okay, for these items that were not made in good quality. All you can do is just donate them, okay? And then when you donate them, they just end up in Goodwill, and then Goodwill, they don't even sell 90% of what they brought in, and then it goes to landfills, and then we have more clothes in our landfills, and then our planet shrivels up into a husk and dies. That is dramatic, but I'm trying to get the point across. You don't have to fit the mob wife aesthetic, okay? If you have decided that you actually you were like, you know what, I really like the clean girl aesthetic, okay? There's a lot of parts of the clean girl aesthetic that really fit my personality, that actually have been very helpful for me. You know, simple makeup does fit my face more, you know, slick back buns is actually an easy way, and I'm actually, you know, it's taken a lot of stress out of my morning to just throw my hair back into a bun and go to work, you know? That's really been great. The rock star girlfriend aesthetic, you know, I really like torn up jeans. I really like wearing black denim. I really like wearing animal print, okay? And so, yeah, sure, I could probably, you know, make a few little adjustments to what I'm wearing to fit the mob wife aesthetic, but I'm comfortable with what I'm wearing. That's what we want. Maybe you find things in the mob wife aesthetic and you're like, this actually does totally fit my personality. This is who I want to be. Great. Keep it. That's yours. Okay. And you can always make changes to things that you don't like anymore or things that you want to buy or whatever. But like, find what you like. I agree. It's alarming. Forget trends. If there's a thing that you like, I like this blue faux fur thing. Okay. I bought it from Guess after an event over a year ago. I like it. It's nice. Okay. It's comfy. It takes water damage really well, shockingly, in the rain. I don't know what's going on, but it's warm and it's been freezing in LA. My aesthetic overwhelmingly could probably be summed up as occasionally slutty librarian. That's probably it. It's what it comes down to, okay? It's where I'm comfortable with because I like wearing my glasses. I like bulky sweaters, and that typically is not into the clean girl aesthetic. And I don't even think it falls into the mob wife aesthetic because there's just things that I like wearing that I am comfortable in, and my aesthetic kind of changes and fluctuates like most people because we are humans and we have evolving tastes and attentions and things that we like doing, and we live in various climates. So yes, the mob wife aesthetic could work for you year round. Wear it wherever you want. If you want to wear it in rural Indiana, you wear it in rural Indiana. Wear whatever you want, okay? Dress however you want. But I don't recommend trying to find yourself in a constantly revolving trend cycle, specifically on TikTok. Maybe you're like, but Amanda, I don't know what I like. I don't know who I am. You could be like me. This is going to sound like a side tangent, but I do think it's important to explain this to you. I don't have a good relationship with my mother. As women, okay, a lot of our views of fashion and what we like in style usually start out from our mothers. A lot of the time spent in adolescence where you're supposed to be figuring things out, like what you like for personal style and things like that, maybe rebelling a little bit and figuring different things out. I didn't have that phase because I couldn't for a variety of reasons. And so now in adulthood, I'm trying to play around. I'm figuring out how to dress for the fact that I'm 5'2", trying to figure out how to dress for the fact that I have no boobs and kind of an ass. I'm figuring out how to dress for the fact that I'm a natural blonde, but I dye my hair dark. These are things that you can go off of to figure out what exactly you're comfortable with. I know I'm more comfortable wearing my glasses because I hate wearing contacts, so I wear my glasses and occasionally I fluctuate of which glasses style I want to wear, but these I think fit my face really well, and I like them because they're gold, and I wear a lot of gold jewelry. For example, the clean girl aesthetic, they liked gold jewelry, but now they're saying that gold jewelry is out, but like I look pasty with silver jewelry. It fully sucks all the color out of my skin, and I'm pale already. That's next to no color being sucked out. I will continue to wear gold jewelry. There's plenty of reasons as to why, you could be my age, 26, and not fully know who you want to be or what you want to convey with your clothes. Now, there are also things like getting your colors done, okay, or watching videos to help you do it yourself, and that's a totally free option. It's literally going onto YouTube, how to figure out what season I am. That's an easy thing, and you can figure out from that what colors look best on you, okay? Hell, there's even TikTok filters that let you figure that out. I don't recommend just going off of these trend cycles though, because you're going to constantly be unhappy if that is the case. I talk about this all the time of trying to figure out who you are offline. TikTok, social media, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, whatever, okay? They can be places where you can find more information about personal style and figuring out how to best find your style. Maybe the mob wife aesthetic is for you. Personally, as a woman, I don't want to base my aesthetic off of just being someone's wife. That's just personally not for me. But maybe that's for you. Maybe you like doing that. Maybe that's something you want. For example, as styles go, I'm probably not going to do a full video on this, but I'm currently doing Mandy Lee's 75 Hard Style Challenge, where for 75 days, I am not allowed to buy any new clothing items or anything to add to my wardrobe. I am entirely wearing everything that I already own and doing a no buy in that same time and trying to make new selections and things like that. And honestly, more than anything for myself, it's made me realize that I've held on to pieces that I literally can't stand. Like I like the color and that's really it. Now, most of you are like, okay, 3 months without buying clothes, that's normal. Okay, that's totally fine. But I really think that if you intentionally go through your closet and intentionally go through of like, oh, I want to try and make new things, you'll really start figuring out one, what style you have accidentally curated, but you'll also figure out maybe, oh, I really like these couple of pieces, but like a coat like this would be really nice with these outfits that I've been wearing a lot. I would really like a coat like this. And you'll really start figuring out gaps in your wardrobe, but also maybe the styles that you want to be wearing that you maybe don't currently have that would really round out what you're comfortable with wearing and things like that. I'll link Mandy's videos about that down below because I do think that this is a very good intentional style exercise that could be something that would be really helpful to avoid the trendification of what's going on. Now, is this currently a trendy thing that's happening? Yes. I am currently on day 14, and I will be honest, the only thing I broke it for was buying a rash guard, but in my defense, I don't think that's style related. I burn like a baby. Outside of TikTok, there is the issue of, oh, I'm only buying this item so I can get an Instagram photo in it. Once I get an Instagram photo in it, I'm not going to post it again. That is more a problem with influencers, and I do think that that is something that is not helping with the fast fashion trend cycle. I don't know. Every time there is a new trend like this, I do see people who are getting it. They make comments and they're like, oh yeah, you cannot afford to buy a whole new wardrobe, okay? The person that is advertising this can afford to. Doesn't mean that they should, but they can. And then X, Y, and Z, and now we have more clothes in the landfill. See how we're always going back to the landfill? See how it keeps happening?
Say goodbye to eclectic grandpa. TikTok's newest aesthetic is bewildered mailman. Dark academia is out, evil denim is in. In 2024, we're serving normcore Pagliacci, twee Amy Klobuchar aesthetic, coastal hamburglar, Boston-coded sleep paralysis demon, RoboCop Tradwife.
I'm going to wrap it up here because I think we're just going to keep going in circles with this. If you like The Sopranos, if you really are like, oh my God, this is it for me. That is how I want to look. I want to look like The Sopranos characters. I want to be the mob wife aesthetic. That is my ideal aesthetic. Fantastic. Great. You found it. Congrats. If you were like, but I'm comfortable with clean girl. Okay, cool. Great. I'm going to leave some links in the description box for like different style quizzes and things like that to see if that'll help. Maybe you're like watching this and you're like, Amanda, I know what I want to wear. I wasn't going to do this regardless. Cool. Great. Fine. Ignore the links then. That's not for you. I don't know. I'm always worried. And it's only getting worse, it's like clean girl lasting about a year and blowing up the way that it did was not the norm for TikTok. And I do think it's because so many mainstream celebrities / influencers, Sophia Richie Grange, Hailey Bieber, etc., leaning into that style, that stealth wealth, clean girl aesthetic, that type of thing, that really led to that boom of it. And I don't think that that's going to happen again, which means that these TikTok trends, again, are going to just keep going. And then we have, Sephora-coated Reaganomics, Amy Klobuchar aesthetic or whatever it was. That's going to keep happening. And then we're going to keep seeing this cycle of fast fashion. If I could convince one of you to not buy fast fashion, I think I will have done a good job, okay? Like, I just need one, and then we can start from there. And then it's like a snowball effect. And then we have an avalanche, and then Shein goes under. That would be fantastic. Have you watch The Sopranos? Do you think I'm wrong and that this was all a marketing ploy? I'm not wrong, but do you think I'm wrong? You can think I'm wrong. Were you part of Clean Girl aesthetic? Have you found your aesthetic because of TikTok? But you now ignore all the trend cycles. Were you on your way to go hunt for a vintage fur coat? Let me know. Comment down below. Reminder, I have a podcast, the Swell Shenanigans Podcast. Reminder, Swell Entertainment is now available on Spotify. Reminder, I'm now streaming on Twitch. Shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for supporting me on Patreon. If you'd also like to support me on Patreon, links down below. Like to follow me on social media. That'll be all up here, and that's going to be a hell of a day. Goodbye. What if I had just done the entire video in these glasses? What then?
Dira, Amy, Andrew, Angel, Aslan, Cameron, Corey, Donnie, Elliot, Glenn, Goth, Jasmine, Kenny, Lauren, Literal, Madeline, Mae West, Medic, Micah, Michael, Nathan, Palace, Pink, QWERTY, Rachel, Randy, Robert, Rosie, Ryan, Sam, Skylar, Tasha, Tenzin, Thomas, Heavenly, Victor, Winter, Wink.